to the K9 the unit a couple of times, and it seems like like when the dogs are on, they know they're on. Like when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work. But then when a kid comes up to them and wants to pat them, they seem very receptive to that kind of thing. How does that kind of
It's temperament. Right now, with the police department, we're purchasing quality, well-bred dogs from Europe, which are imported. And when I go out and evaluate dogs and test them, I'm looking mainly for a proper temperament of dog. Okay. So the dogs we have now are very good. They're very approachable, most of them. But I would always advise adults and children, before you touch any dog, even a police dog, you always talk to the owner or the handler first. Okay. You don't just walk up on a police dog and think you're going to pet him.
Ask permission, hey,
always
officer.
Ask permission, and depending on the handler and the dog, they may allow you, or they may say, no, not right now, he's working.
Right. So, and people need to be aware of that too. Just
absolutely.
See the dog, understand that, as you said, they are working dogs, so just because you ask doesn't mean the officer isn't involved in an incident at that particular time. So
absolutely.
Don't get your feelings hurt, just realize that
some dogs are very good and very sociable at home, but when they go to work and they get in the car and the handler puts a certain collar on, they're working. So kind of game on.
Game on. So you're the one who they send out to buy the dogs. You get to go out, kind of kick the tires, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, we will have vendors which we purchase dogs from, and when we have new handlers come to the unit, as well as many of the outside agencies that I train, I'll go to the vendor and I'll evaluate the dogs they have that they've imported. Yeah. So I'll look at, for an average handler, I'll look at anywhere from 3 to 7, 8 dogs.
Okay.
Before I pick one.
And when you pick one, what you approach it.
I have a test that I do, which I evaluate the dog, his prey drive, his hunt drive, his willingness to search for items and locate them. Yeah. Then I'll test his defense drive, his fight drive for aggression.
Now, how do you test the fight drive or aggression?
It's just different challenges I go through. Physically, just confrontation. Being a trainer of dogs, I know how to read a dog or how to present my body language to get a response out of the dog, and I look for the type of response that I'm looking for.
Cool.
And what I'm looking for is a dog that shows me a lot of confidence and power right from the beginning, that there's no fear in the dog. He's very solid in nerves.
How many dogs generally do you use for canine? I know you said the Shepherd, but is it just a handful, 3, 4? Or?
4 basic dogs, German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherd, and Labrador Retriever.
And price tag? What do these dogs cost? I got to ask
Of course, with
for the people at home saying, I want to buy myself a canine, they might want to think twice because it is kind of cost prohibitive.
For what we were basically taken as a green dog, which is a dog that's been bred and raised for this type of work, the average price right now is going for $5,000 to $6,500.
Okay.
If you to purchase one of those dogs fully trained, which is once the dog comes to me and I train in patrol and narcotics, that dog would now be valued at anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000.
Wow. So. All right, I want to get to some video. Charlotte, when you get a chance. And 2 weeks ago, graduation ceremony. You guys put on a great show, and you ran the dogs through a number of different tests. And let's just kick it off with this one. Take a look at the screen right here, Troy. Who's the handler and what's the dog? Do we know?
This is Officer Mike Mason from Revere Police Department with his dog Walsh. And what he's doing there is he's an explosive detection dog, and he's doing what we consider a NORT test. It's a National Odor Recognition Test.
Okay.
Basically, inside those cans of, I think that wheel we had set up, there were 10 cans, and inside the cans there's 3 odors. And he's looking for those odors. When he finds the odors, he's going to sit, which is a passive response. And then the handler's going to reward the dog once he sits.
Hey, let me just,
that's an indication.
That's his indicator to say, hey, listen, my friend, let's stop. There's something here.
Right. With the bomb dogs, they have to be passive. We don't want them knocking anything over, so he's going to go into a sit when he finds it.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's great. That's right, because you don't want him jumping up and down and maybe tripping.
Right.
Absolutely.
Whatever. We don't want him picking up a bomb and running back to us. It'll be tough to catch.
Officer Casey, here it is. I think I got it. And let me, so what kind of, how many odors, are there, do you train them to detect?
There's about 8 to 10 main odors, or basic odors, that the dogs are trained on, and these dogs are trained on, when they complete a train, up to about 19 odors.
Okay.
And that's going to continue through their career. We'll continue adding more odors to them. I mean, the odors are limitless on what you can train the dog, but there's a couple of main basic compounds that are involved in most explosives.
So 8 to 10? That you pretty much, given the explosive, you're going to find one of these in some form or another inside an explosive. Cheryl, there's some other stuff I want to take a look at. I noticed when this dog was going around the circle, sometimes you give him a treat. It looks like he's giving
Yeah,
him.
that dog is a toy reward dog.
Yep.
So what the handler's doing, once that dog indicates on the odor, he's presented with his reward, which is a toy.
This I want to get into too. This was pretty cool. Now,
Yeah.
same kind of dog, ballistic/bomb dog,
Absolutely.
and just kind of take us through what's going on here.
Well, this dog's doing a search of a motor vehicle for an explosive, and once the dog indicates on that odor, the dog's going to go into a sit.
Okay.
You saw that dog down only because the odor was lower to the ground, and sometimes if they're low to the ground, the dogs will down, and that's acceptable for us.
Okay. This is Officer Michael Saltamacchia,
Yeah.
formerly V13, Rosie Boy in the house. His parents showed up at the graduation. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and this is his dog, Rue, and he's a Boston dog. He's a lab, and you'll see a response coming up in a second. He's trying to get to where the odor is. There's a response. This is a food reward dog.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And the handler's going to feed him from the source of the odor when he indicates. So,
Yep, so he's picking up on it,
Right,
boom,
and there's
it's
our set.
there. Now, how long does it take to search a motor vehicle? I mean, are they going to go around? I mean, I noticed these guys went around a couple of times. They seem
Yeah.
to pick up on it pretty quick. How long on average does it take the
well,
dog
it depends
to
on the
take odor?
dog. Certain dogs are a little bit different. Some dogs are faster. Some take a little bit longer. An average vehicle will probably have them go around that vehicle 2 to 3 times before they make the indication.
Let me ask you this. You've been doing it for 16 years. How important are dogs to police departments, not only our department, but departments around the country?
Dogs are extremely important. They're extremely popular right now because of the threats of terrorism and explosives.
Yep.
The main function right now, not the main function, one of the larger functions that the dogs are being trained for is explosive detection. They can search out explosives in places that we really can't search. We can't go through that whole vehicle that's parked there, but the dog can scent from the exterior as well as go underneath the vehicle and find any explosive odor. So right now, dogs are extremely important.
Now, was there an increase, since 9/11 and things of that nature? Was there an increase in the importance of using dogs? I know for example, the cadaver dogs. I don't know if we have cadaver dogs.
We don't have cadaver.
But I remember, around 9/11, the use of dogs and what a big role they played. Was there any impact on our departments around the country since?
Oh, dogs use. Since 9/11, the explosives detection dogs, the demand for them has gone through the roof, actually. That's driven the price of dogs up as well as supply. There aren't as many dogs as we need. Usually a vendor, by the time they get dogs in, the dogs are going out the door the next day.
Wow.
Such a high demand, and that's driven the price up on dogs as well.
And you said that some of these dogs come from Germany?
Germany, a lot of Czech Republic,
Okay.
the Netherlands, many different countries in Europe right now.
And why is that?
Just over in Europe, they raise the dogs a little bit different from the way we raise our dogs. The dogs are raised from birth for work.
Okay. Here's another drill that you guys you put on as a part of the graduation. And again, maybe Troy, just tell us a little bit about this. Looking for.
Yeah, this is Tacoma. This is one of our Boston dogs, and what he's basically doing is a search for firearms. Consistent with the explosives and firearms is smokeless powder and black powder, which is consistent with firearms, and we incorporated that into our searching.
He seems like a pretty mellow dog.
He is, yeah, very good dog. He's very slow, methodical. Once he indicates, he'll sit and then he'll tap, let the handler know what's there. I think in this situation here, the dog found a magazine
Yep.
with ammunition in it.
I think it's Officer Casey in the house right there.
There you go.
Making it happen. Is that Officer Griffiths?
Yes, Officer Kevin Griffin's one of our new bomb dog
Yep.
handlers.
And the handlers, what kind of day was it for these guys who graduated? I mean, pretty exciting day for
Yeah,
them?
it was an exciting day. We worked for 10 weeks at this, and if you would have saw them week 1, you would have never thought that would happen. So it's a long process, but it's a lot of work.
Well, and here's the thing, too, we should probably make mention of. It's only a 10-week course, right?
Right.
So in 10 weeks, you take a dog and a handler, you marry them together, and, I mean, is the 10-week, is the final day, is that the last day of learning, or is there still a lot more learning?
The training
to come?
never ends. The
Okay.
training never ends. Once they've completed the training, they're going to continue training with us for the life of the dog. Every handler that we train has to come back 2 days a month for in-service training, as well as the bomb dogs. They have to train daily with their dogs just to keep their dogs sharp in the skills.
Now, the guy